Hi there, Mr. Holcomb here with another episode of The Math Behind the Module. This is lesson 3, area of acute triangles, using height and base. Alright, so we're going to feed off of lesson 2, which was finding the area of right triangles. In this case, we have non-right triangles. So work with a partner on this exercise below. Determine if the area formula for area equals 1/2 base times height is always correct. You may use a calculator. Be sure to record your work on your paper as well. Figures are not drawn to scale. So let me get my calculator and I'll be right back. Okay, so number 1, we have this table. They don't give us a whole lot of room. I'll do my best to write this. I may have to erase for each one. So right here it says to find the area of the two right triangles. So I'm going to color code these. So if you see, there is a right triangle right here. Okay, it's not a very good picture of one, but that is the left side of the triangle, and I'll put this over here. I actually don't like that at all, so I'm going to try that again. There's my base, this is height, and this is the hypotenuse. Okay, that's much better. So there is the one triangle. And then if I draw the other one, so what we're really doing is taking a triangle that is not a right triangle and cutting it into two triangles that are both right triangles. So if I move this over like so, now you'll see that it is the entire triangle that we are dealing with split into two pieces, where this is a right angle and that is a right angle. So my base of this is 9 centimeters and the height is 12 centimeters. The hypotenuse is not used when finding area, so I will cross those out. The side opposite the right angle is not needed. So the area of the red one I will do first, and the first thing you always do is write the formula area equals 1/2 times base times height. And then I substitute in my givens, and the base is 9 centimeters. And the height is 12 centimeters. Okay, now the easiest way to do these problems is we're dividing by 2. So the 2 is in the denominator, so 12 divided by 2 is 6. So make the bigger of the two even numbers reduce. So 12 divided by 2, or 12 times 1/2, is 6. And that just simplifies our process, and now that 1/2 is gone. The 12 is now a 6, and 9 times 6 is 54, and centimeters times centimeters is centimeters squared. So there is the area of the red triangle. Now I'm going to do the area of the green triangle, so I'm going to say area equals, now I'm doing this one here, I'm just doing it down here, and then I'll erase it. Area equals 1/2 base times height. Substitute in our givens. My base in this case is this right here, which is 12.6 cm. The height is still 12. It's the same for both triangles. So my base is 12.6 centimeters. And my height is 5. I'm sorry. Looking at the wrong triangle. 12.6 centimeters. And my height is 12 centimeters. So I'm going to take that 1/2 times 12 is 6, or 12 divided by 2 is 6. So I've reduced already, so I got rid of that half. And now I just multiply 6 times 6 is 36, carry my 3, 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 is 15, carry the 1, 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7, and there is 1 decimal place. Okay. So I have 54 square centimeters here, 75.6 square centimeters here. So the area of the total triangle equals the area of the pieces. So it's going to be 54 centimeters squared okay, plus, oh, and by the way, centimeters times centimeters is centimeters squared here. So there's my plus 75.6 centimeters squared. And so my area total is going to equal 5 plus 4 is 9, 7 plus 5 is 12, 129.6 centimeters squared. So that is the area of this whole triangle because I took the area of the left, the area of the right, and I added them up, and that is the total area. So now we want to prove that every time this happens, we're going to find the area of the whole triangle. So now I am going to find the area of the whole thing, which is my same formula, area equals 1/2 base times height. Substitute in my givens. My base is 9 plus 12.6. So I'm going to write that. 9 centimeters plus 12.6 centimeters is my base times my height of 12 centimeters. Okay, so area equals 1/2 times 9 plus 12.6 is 21.6 centimeters times 12 centimeters. So the 1/2 and the 12 will reduce to 6, and my area equals 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9, and 6 times 2 is 12. So I got 129.6 centimeters squared, and as you can see, it is the same either way we do it. So the area of the whole thing is equal to the area of its parts. Okay, so we're just going to keep doing these until we get the hang of this. So now I'm just going to erase everything we've done and do the next problem. Okay, so first area of the two right triangles. So the first triangle I'm going to do in green, and that is this one here. So the area equals 1/2 my base, which is 8 feet, times my height, which is 5.2 feet. Always reduce if you can. 1/2 of 8 is 4. So my area equals 4 times 5.2, which is 20.8 feet. So that's the area of the green triangle. The area of the red triangle now is here. That is the red one. And the area equals 1/2 base times height. Substitute in our givens. My base is 3.9 feet. My height is 5.2 feet. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that 2 by getting rid of one of my even numbers if there is one. 5.2 is even. 1/2 of 5.2 is 2.6. So my area is going to be 3.9 times 2.6. And I did open my calculator just in case. So 3.9 times 2.6 is 10.14 feet squared. So the area total equals 20.8 feet squared. Forgot my square here. Plus 10.14 feet squared. So my total area is 20.8 plus 10.14 is 30.94 feet squared. Okay, so now I'm going to find the area of the whole thing. So the area of the whole thing will be the same formula. Area equals 1/2 base times height. Substitute in my givens. Now my base is the sum of this base and this base, which is 8 feet plus 3.9 feet times the height of 5.2 feet. PEMDAS says addition first, then multiply. So 8 feet plus 3.9 feet is 11.9 feet. That is odd. 5.2 feet is even. So I'm going to take that half and divide 5.2 times 2, and I get 2.6. So the area equals 11.9 times 2.6. 11.9 times 2.6 equals 30.94 feet times feet is feet squared, and notice that they came out the same. Okay, continuing with this, now we're going to erase all of this and move on to the next problem. Okay, so now I have two triangles here. My altitude or my height is very close to this side, but it's not equal. I do have a really small triangle here with a base of 5.56, less than 1 inch. Over here I have 2 inches. So I'm going to do the left triangle first, which is here. This is my left triangle. Almost the whole thing, but this little sliver cut off to make that a right triangle. And my area equals 1/2 base times height, which equals 1/2 my substituted values, which my base is 2 inches. My height is 2 5/6 inches, and I'm going to make that improper. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 5 is 17 over the original denominator, inches. 1/2 and 2 cancels out because 1/2 of 2 is 1. So 1 times 17/6 is 17 over 6. Inches times inches is inches squared. And my area is 17/6, or 6 times 2 is 12 with a remainder of 5. 2 5/6 inches squared. I'm then going to do the other piece, which is this tiny little triangle here, a sliver of a triangle right there. And the area is 1/2 base times height. Substitute in my givens. My base is now 5/6 inches times my height, which is 2 5/6 inches, which is 17/6 inches. Okay, and I'm going to multiply this all across. 1 times 5 is 5, times 17 is, let's see, 17 times 5. 7 times 5 is 35, carry the 3, 85. Over 6 times 6 is 36, times 2 is 72. So my area equals 1. 72 goes into 85 once with a remainder of 13. Okay. All right, they use really unfriendly numbers here. So in order for us to find the total area with these two values, I need to add the area of the purple plus the area of the green. So the area total equals 2 5/6 inches plus 1 13/72 inches. All right, so I'm going to make these improper, or actually what I could do is make one, so the area total equals, so this is 2, and 6 goes into 72 once, 12 times, so 12 times 5 is 60 over 72. We can always just make the fraction part the same denominator and leave the integers alone. Plus 1 13/72. So my area total equals 2 plus 1 is 3. 60 plus 13 is 73 over 72. And when my numerator is larger, I can reduce. So 72 goes into 73 once. So now that's a 4 for a whole number. And with 1 remaining out of that 72, and my area is 4 1/72 inch squared. Okay. That was a really odd value. So now we need to do the total. So the area of the whole thing equals 1/2 the base times the height, which is 1/2 my whole base, which is 2 inches plus 5/6 inches. And I'm going to multiply that by the height, which is 2 and 5/6 or 17/6 inches. Okay, so area equals 1/2 2 and 5/6 inches, which is, write that again. So I'm adding 2 and 5/6. So that is 2 and 5/6. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 5 is 17 over 6. Okay, so that's 2 and 5/6 right here. And then I have 17/6 here. So that is my height. So what I'm going to do is just multiply across the top. 17 times 17. That's a perfect square. 17 squared. 289. Over 6 times 6 is 36 times 2 is 72. So therefore my area is, now if I take that 289 divided by 72, I should get 4 with a remainder of 1. So 289 divided by 72, and I got 4, the remainder of 1. So if I do 289 divided by 72, I get this number. And if I subtract 4, I get that number. And if I just get the fraction of that, it's 1/72. So it's 4 and 1/72 of an inch squared, and they are equal. Okay? All right, one more time. Okay, clean slate starting again. Okay, so I'm going to do this triangle here. I don't want to use black. Let me use purple. This triangle here is a right triangle. Area equals 1/2 base times height. Area equals 1/2. My base is 34 meters. My height is 32 meters. I'm going to divide one of these by 2. Either one, it doesn't matter. 1/2 of 34 is 17. So I have 17 meters times 32 meters. So I get my calculator. 17 times 32 is 544 meters squared. That is just the purple part of the triangle. I'll do this little triangle here in red. I want the area of that. The area equals 1/2 base times height. Substitute in my givens. My base is now 12 meters, and my height is again 32 meters. Reduce first. 1/2 of 32 is 16. 12 times 16, if I get my calculator, 12 times 16 is 192 meters squared. So the area total is 544 meters squared plus 192 meters squared. So the total area is 4 plus 2 is 6. 4 plus 9 is 13. Carry the 1. 5 plus 1 is 6. Plus that carried 1 is 7 meters squared. Okay, now I need to do the total. So I'll do the calculation up here. Area equals 1/2. Okay, my base now is 2 inch, I'm sorry, I'm doing this one here. 34 meters plus 12 meters. I'm just going to write it. 34 meters plus 12 meters times the height, which is 32 meters. So when I do this calculation, I'm going to get 1/2 34 plus 12 is 46 meters times 32 meters. And I like to reduce the bigger number of the two, and half of 46 is 23, so the half is gone. So now I'm just going to multiply 23 times 32 using my calculator. 23 times 32 equals 736 meters squared, and that matches the area of the two pieces separated. Okay, moving right along, number 2. Can we use the formula area equals 1/2 times base times height to calculate the area of triangles that are not right triangles? The answer to that is obviously yes. We just did 4 examples right here. All 4 of them, when we did them by 2 pieces, the areas equaled the entire triangle. So the answer is yes. So the answer is yes. The formula A equals 1/2 times base times height can be used for more than just right triangles. We just need to be able to determine the height when it is not necessarily the length of one of the sides. Okay? Number 3, examine given triangle and expression. Explain what each part of the expression represents according to the triangle. Okay, so we have an equation, the expression. 1/2 represents it's a half of a rectangle. So if I drew a vertical line up here and I came across over here and I came down like this, okay, so that it was a rectangle. This triangle right here plus this little piece here equals this piece. So these two are half of the area. Therefore, the one that they gave us is half of the area of a rectangle around it. The 11 feet is the total base, which is 3 plus 8. So it's the total base. This is the base. And the height, and I'm going to say vertical. Okay, it has to be perpendicular to the base. Perpendicular meaning it forms a 90-degree angle. Explain what each part of the expression represents according to the triangle. Okay, just did that. And number 4, Joe found the area of a triangle by writing this formula, while Caitlin found the area by writing 1/2 times 3 times 4 plus 1/2 times 8 times 4. Okay, so he approached the problem by taking the total base times the height one time, where she took the base of the small triangle times the height plus the base of the big triangle times its height, and combined the two areas to get a total area. So they're doing just what we did on the last page that we did 4 times. Okay, I'm not going to spend more time on that. Number 5, the triangle below has an area of 4.76 square feet or inches. If the base is 3.4 inches, let h be the height in inches. So there it is. There's a diagram. The base is 3.4 inches. That is from here all the way over to here is 3.4 inches. We don't know the height, but we do know the area is 4.76 square inches. Explain how the equation 4.76 inches squared is equal to 1/2 times 3.4 inches times height represented in this situation. Well, area equals 1/2 base times height. The area of the given square is right here. So that's what went here. 4.76 inches squared replaces the A in the formula. The 1/2 is already there. The 3.4 is the base. 3.4 is the base. 3.4 is the base. And then finally, h is the height. Let h be the height. Let h be the height. So there it is. Okay, so everything is accounted for. Now it says solve the equation. So I'm going to write A equals 1/2 base times height. A, when I write A is 4.76 inches squared. Is equal to 1/2 3.4 inches times h. Remember this? We have an equation with an unknown, and we use PEMDAS in reverse and do inverse operations to solve. So the first thing I want to get rid of is this half. In order to, if we're going to multiply by a half, if we get rid of it by multiplying by its inverse, 2 over 1. So 2 over 1 and 1 times 2. So 2 times 1 is 2, 1 times 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so that cancels. If I multiply the right by 2, I have to multiply the left by 2, and that is going to give me 9.4 inches squared. So 4.76. I forgot the 6. I fixed this. Multiplying this by 2. 6 times 2 is 12. Carry the 1. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 2 decimal places. So 4.76 times 2 is 9.52 inches squared. The equal sign is still there. The half is now gone, and I have 3.4 inches times the height. The multiplication is the operation. Division is the inverse. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3.4 inches. So the 3.4 cancels. The inches cancel, and I'm left with H. And there's an inches squared here divided by an inches there. So that's inches times inches over inches. 1 cancels, leaving inches. And it's going to be 9.52 divided by 3.4. So 9.52 divided by 3.4. Oh, might help go on. 9.52 divided by 3.4 equals 2.8 inches. And that is the height. That is the end of lesson 3. Go to your problem set.